What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. What's that doing over there? There we go. Fixed it. How you guys doing? Hope you're having a good day. Grab your coffee, kick back and relax. Let's talk about some more Hunter stuff. I'm very excited. So I made some big changes in the last couple days. I've just been farming my butt off trying to get enough Cosmic Flux to make another legendary, because I made this legendary here, Wild Call. Now, I'll talk about this in a second. But I want to do a video on this. We did a +9 hauls. I wanted to do a higher key. I was applying to keys, but nobody will take me because my IO is really low on this character, so kind of frustrating. But I did get a bunch of guildies to help me out, do a really, really good Halls of Atonement run. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about my build. Again, all of this is like experimental, right? I'm trying to experiment and see like what works and what could possibly work. So I did in fact go Necrolord, and I took this legendary, Wrist Wraps of the Wild Call. Now, a lot of you guys, maybe you haven't made this. Kitty, can you just listen? It's not time, okay? It's not time. You gotta go. Get. A lot of you guys may have never made this legendary. It cools down all of your aspects and True Shot. That's all I care about really is True Shot. But it does cool down aspect of the turtle, aspect of the cheetah, which is pretty cool. I also took this talent, which I didn't mean to take actually, but it further reduced the cooldown of turtle and cheetah, which is kind of crazy. You can get turtle down to a 1.6 minute cooldown, which is like a minute and 40 seconds, I think. Anyway, that's like interesting maybe for like raid purposes, but it was complete waste. I should have just had post haste, so don't bother looking at that. But I did stick with Streamline. I was experimenting with Chimera Shot, but it's just kind of whatever. I think Streamline is perfectly fine, particularly because I'm running a True Shot build, and I press Rapid Fire a lot more than I otherwise would be, because True Shot reduces the cooldown of Rapid Fire while it's going, right? One thing right at the outset I want to look at is we did 8.5k overall damage, which is pretty insane actually for my eye level. I still don't have a weapon. I still have a 245 eye level. The amount of times that we cast True Shot was 24 in an 18.25 dungeon. That's once every 45 seconds. I did the math on my calculator earlier. That's every 45 seconds I'm casting True Shot, which I think is quite powerful. That's what this legendary gets you. It reduces the cooldown of True Shot by 35%, which ends up putting it at a 1.3 minute cooldown. So that's a minute and 20 seconds. On top of that, you take Calling the Shots, which means every time you cast Arcane Shot or Multi-Shot, which you're casting all the time, you reduce the cooldown even more. So I got it down to a 45-second cooldown, which I think is really interesting, and I thought was very powerful and very fun. It creates a little mini game for your character where you're basically just waiting till True Shot comes back and you're getting it back as quickly as you possibly can. And it's this fun little mini game that I really like to play. On top of that, I did go Necrolord, which is just gives you the explosive shot on Death Chakram whenever you throw it. And as you can see, Explosive Shot did 10% of our damage all on its own, and Death Chakram did another 4.5%. I want to talk about Death Chakram really quickly because this is actually huge. So, first of all, it's a 45-second cooldown, so it's very low. You can have it on every single pack. You get 2 explosive shots as long as you're hitting 2 targets, so you have to game that a little bit. Explosive Shot does a ton of damage, but Death Chakram itself increases the damage, the physical damage that the enemy takes from you by 10%. You do 10% more phys damage. This is really good for Marksman Hunter, okay? The reason it's really good is because all of your damage is physical, literally all of it. Your best 2 abilities, Aim Shot and Rapid Fire, are physical. The only thing that's not physical is Arcane Shot. It's arcane damage, obviously. So you got Steady Shot, Aim Shot, Rapid Fire. My double tap is, of course, giving my Rapid Fire and Aim Shot on everyone. Then you've got Multi-Shot, which is physical as well. All these abilities get buffed by Death Chakram being on the enemy. It does you do 10% more damage. So I think that's actually significant compared to, say, Survival Hunter, which does most of its damage via its bombs, Wildfire Bomb, and that's only one of the 3 bombs does a physical dot afterwards, but all the upfront damage of bombs is fire damage, or you get the nature damage from that that infusion there. That's the bulk of their damage, especially because of their tier set. The bulk of our damage, all of our damage is physical, so that 10% bonus to physical damage is actually significant in my mind. The last thing, and the most not most important, but the last but not least, really cool part of this is that Marileth gives you Mastery, which is a huge stat for Marksman Hunter. It just gives you more damage. I go from 25% more damage to 30% more damage, basically, You can see that there. And obviously it increases the range of my abilities as well. But just by having Fleshcraft on, I get 120 mastery, which gives me more damage. So that can be on all the time. Basically, I have... How much did that give? I have 5% more damage from Fleshcraft. And when I have Death Chakra mode, I have 10% more damage at all times. On top of that, Kevin's Oozling comes out, and he makes you do 6% more damage as well. So there's a lot of, like, multipliers with Necrolord that's really, really cool. And, of course, I know that people think that it's a meme, but I think it actually is really could be really good on Fortified Weeks in particular. So that's the build that I ran. We had True Shot cooldown. This is a True Shot build. It's all about making sure that you press True Shot when it comes off cooldown. That's the entire point of this build. And the rest is history. Now, again, I have no gear, but you're going to see in this dungeon we do a lot of damage anyway. So let's shift over to the video. Oh, it's over here, of course. Wrong display. My bad. Let's get this rolling as well. So this is the very end, but we're going to go to the beginning. You're going to see the opening pack here, which is really good. On the opener, you want to make sure that you trap this Houndmaster with Freezing Trap. So make sure that you do that. I'm just going to throw it right in front of him. He's going to walk into it. Boom. That stops the patrol from coming around the corner. And then you're going to pull all this stuff into this shard. Excuse me. Whoa. Into this shard. Last but not least, the one thing I want to say about Necrolord is that it gives you Fleshcraft, which, as a marksman hunter, you don't have a lot of defensive cooldowns. And so Fleshcraft is actually insanely good for marksman hunter, just to survive, in my opinion. Watch our damage here. So we just threw out the explosions are about to go off. 3, 2, 1. Here comes our damage. Boom. 16k. 18k. Like, this is just our regular rotation with True Shot. Obviously, I have True Shot rolling. I'm going to have True Shot rolling on almost every single pack. It's really fun to have that cooldown going because it makes your spenders less expensive and it makes them cool down like 5 times quicker than they normally do. So you can just get them going like all the time. I don't know. It's really, really cool. We almost end up doing, we do 18, 20k on this pack, which is just really, really good for us. The next pack across the way, I have Death Chakram back up. Look, I have True Shot back up as well. Here we go. Round 2. I'm waiting until they get gathered up so I can multi-shot them. So here we go. Death Chakram, multi-shot, True Shots rolling, and we go. You just obviously cycle in between multi-shot and your big guns. Rapid fire and aim shot. So the damage is just good. Like, it's always good on every pack, right? Which is the builds that I prefer to play all the time. You guys know me now. At this point, I love to play these kinds of builds where it's just consistent DPS from pack to pack. That's just my favorite way to do it. We did about 13.5, almost 14k there. So, again, similar thing. Once again, up here, this is only 3 target cleave. The only thing you have to worry about with Death Chakram is when to use it. But look at True Shot's back again. I just finished using it. It's back. I press it again, of course. Death Chakram again, and we go. Rapid fire. Our damage is awesome here. Again, one thing you want to be worried about to some degree. I just pressed Fleshcraft there really quick to get the mastery buff, by the way. One thing you need to think about is when to press Death Chakram, because the explosive shot is uncapped AoE. It hits any number of targets that are nearby. So you want to make sure that you've gathered as many targets as possible, but you don't really want to sit on the cooldown of Death Chakram, because again, Death Chakram summons Kevin's Oozling, which is 6% more damage to your single target, and then a Death Chakram makes you do 10% more physical damage to the enemy, and it's got that explosive shot component. So you need to press Death Chakram like all the time if you can. You don't really want to sit on it, but you can see our damage here is fantastic. Like, for my eye level, it's pretty great. I mean, I just love how easy it is to play marks in terms of just rotating between multi-shot and your big guns. Aim shot and rapid fire. And then double tap just makes it like there's a double tap right there. Look at that. It's just disgusting the amount of damage you can do. So let's go forward here. There's a really big pull. Again, this is just more AoE. Of course, with Halls of Atonement, most of your trash is in the very beginning. Binding Shot is really good here, too, for the dogs. I want to say that multiple times, but I do end up using it a couple of times on the dogs because they get enraged, and then I think I threw a Binding Shot down right there. Now, they get stunned by the monk, which was good, so the cast didn't go off anyway. But Jay could just run out of melee if he wanted to, and again, you're kind of helping to reduce the damage that the tank will take there. So again, we're doing big damage here. I had a double tap, trick shot, rapid fire ready to go. Watch this opener. I should have misdirected Jay. This was a mistake. But we just go right to 13k DPS, and then I almost die because I didn't misdirect Jay like an idiot. So I pop Turtle, let him get his aggro back, and then I drop it, and we keep going. So, but yeah, we just keep pulling more AoE. You can see we're always hovering between like 10 to 20k basically, depending on how big the pull is. Here comes a big Death Chakram. Look at that. Watch this damage. This is an aim shot that crits. This is disgusting. I've done 14,000 damage right now, 1.6k per second. Watch this aim shot. Boom. Immediately 40k. Boom. 140k. 190k. Look at, we're doing 22, 25, 26k DPS right now. It's insane, dude. That's just from like our aim shot critting and bouncing around. It's just like, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. Like, True Shot's just up all the time. It's just absolutely crazy. Anyway, I love it. Let's get to the first boss fight. Oh, here's another huge pull. 27k. What happened here? Why was I doing 30k? Okay, that happened. My explosives go off. We're doing 28k right now. And then I aim shot into a multi-shot, back up to almost 30k again. Look at that, 32k. Like, if you can make aim shot crit, I need to get more crit on my gear because this is just absolutely disgusting. The damage is just crazy, man. It's really crazy. So, anyway, good stuff. We're going to go to Halkais here. Oh, sorry. They're getting the double Stoneborn into Halkais. Well, the only thing I want to talk about here is actually partway through the fight. Obviously, you want to bait the red stuff into the same position as it was before, if possible. So I did a bad job of that early on. But this is a cool moment here. He's going to do his spinny thing with the red lasers, right? And I have True Shot coming back off cooldown. You can see it's 10 seconds away. I used it on pull. I used True Shot at the beginning of this pull, and it's back now. I popped True Shot. Because of how quickly it allows you to cast aim shot, I can literally stand still and cast aim shot before the beam gets to me. So here's a shot right here. Aim shot right there, and then I move. And then aim shot again, and it's going back the other way. But even if it had continued going the same way, True Shot reduces the cast time of aim shot so much that it allows you to cast it in between the rotation of those things so you don't get hit, which means you don't lose any damage on that portion of the fight, which is a really big deal. I really love that. So let's move forward here. There is Echelon coming up. We do this trash here. We get these Stoneborns pretty low, and then Jay just pulls into the boss, which is perfectly fine. So here it is, Echelon right there. We need to lust. I think Nikita lusts here in a second. You can see Flocked there on his priest. Managed to get a... He's in the guild now, which is pretty cool. It's good to have Flock there. I flashcraft here because we are going to end up taking a lot of damage on this fight. All the little bursts that go off from these guys, and if the villainous bolts are targeting me at all, then it's going to do a lot of damage. So the fleshcraft literally just blocked all those villainous bolts from hitting me. I do have my human ratio, which will get me out of the next curse thing that's on me. My Death Chakram timing was a little unfortunate here in the sense that I wish that it had been up when the ads were up, but you don't want to hold it. You just don't want to hold it. So much of your damage is tied to having Death Chakram rolling on the enemy. It just allows you to do so much extra damage. So here comes the next curse. I get rid of it with my human ratio right there. You saw that. And then we can keep doing damage. Multi-shot into rapid fire. Multi-shot into aim shot. You can see it just bounces around and does tons of damage. Really, really good. I love the playstyle of Marks, man. It's just really fun to have that idea. I think it's similar to like Outlaw Rogue, right? Where you kind of press one button, which is Blade Flurry, and then it makes all your other abilities like bounce around and do AoE damage. So Marks is kind of similar in the fact that you just press multi-shot, and then your big guns will do extra damage as well. So let's move ahead to Aleez, the boss fight. This was actually good damage right here. I think I get rid of an explosive there, and then we're pumping as much damage. There goes the explosion from Death Chakram. Again, the rotation's so simple. You just want to do multi-shot into aim shot. Get those the numbers bouncing around. I do want to get more crit in my build because it just feels like that's the play. Like if you get a crit on that aim shot that's bouncing around, my god, it's going to do so much damage. So we get double Stoneborn for this boss. Once again, you always want to do that. you really want to have a Venthyr person for this dungeon. Like, that damage from the Stoneborns is no joke. It's on our monk healer right now. Watch the monk's damage. Our monk healer just starts like out DPSing people. He's almost above the tank. The Stoneborns are just kicking butt, man. So, really good. Nothing too crazy to see here. I want to talk about the next room. Our AoE damage in the next room is really great. I mean, this is so easy. Consider I'm coming from, like, Enhancement Shaman who doesn't have the greatest AoE. Watch this. Watch this shot. I'm double tapping this aim shot with trick shots on it. Here we go. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. 16k right out of the gates. Just it bounces around again. Like, I just love that, man. It's so cool. I do binding shot them and then I blow these guys away. That's a cool combo you can do, right? So right here, I put binding shot down and then I hit bursting shot, and you can see the binding shot triggers on all of those people there. So then they're stuck in place and they're not dealing damage to me, and I can do more damage. I mean, I just love the AoE on Marksman Hunter. It feels really good to do the AoE rotation. I just can't, I don't know, I can't say enough about it. It's just really, really fun. It's just, you know, kind of two buttons. Now, obviously, there's a bit of nuance to it, but, like, for instance, if you're running the talent like I am that makes aim shot do 50% more damage to targets that are above 70% health, then you want to game it so that your aim shot that's going to bounce around starts on a character that has over 70% life, right? So you get extra damage from that. But you look at this. We're doing 14k in this room with our eye level, which is just, it's just fantastic. Honestly, it's so good. Here's the last boss fight. This is Chamberlain. Lord Chamberlain himself. Not too much to talk about here, actually. Obviously, Marksman Hunter is just very adept at being able to dodge the pillars that are being thrown, because you can move while casting steady shot. You can move while casting rapid fire. So there really is no excuse for you to ever get hit by pillars here. I get true shot back. We pop it, and here we go. Double tap my next aim shot. Here comes big damage. Our single target is certainly lacking because we're Necrolord, I think. But it's just, you know, on AoE, we're doing tons of damage. But on the single target stuff, Death Chakram, of course, is weaker. It's just generally going to be weaker, especially versus Venthyr. Ventyr's kind of really good at being in single target there. So I'm loving it, guys. I love this build. I think it's a lot of fun. And I think Necrolord is fun. I understand it's not great. I understand that. I really do. So don't get me wrong. I don't think Necrolord is the best Covenant by any means. I don't think it's like 600 miles behind the rest of the Covenant, so like most people think. Most people think it's like hot garbage. I don't think it's that bad. I think it could be good. It's just that it really depends on the week. If it's fortified, I think it's exceptionally good. So let's go back to gameplay here. Go back to gameplay. Wait, where'd that go? Hello? Hello? Webcam? Thank you. Okay. Let's look at the over-under. 8.5k overall. I'm happy with that. Explosive Shot did 10% of our damage. Death Chakram did 4.5%. So we did 14.5% of our damage from just our Covenant choice, which is very interesting. I think that's a pretty good number. I think in the past dungeons that I was doing where I was running Venthyr, you can see it did about 9% plus 3% here. So that's about 11. Oh, that's 12% of our damage just from the Flayed Shot pouch interaction. And then there's some kill shots that I can't account for. So it's probably more like 14%. It's probably very similar, actually, to the Halls of Atonement that we just did. So I think that the damage is similar, but you're relying on procs for Venthyr versus the Death Chakram is always going to be, you know exactly when you need to use it. You want to try and game it. I would have got a lot more damage out of this if this was a plus 10 dungeon, because I could have used it on every boss fight and it would have gotten 2 explosions instead of 1, because there would have been those extra relics on the boss. So this would actually do more damage, and you could pull, you know, if you were doing higher keys and you had a tank who could pull 10, 15 mobs together, this is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage because, again, Explosive Shot is uncapped AoE, and it benefits from our mastery, right? So this says 53-45 damage. If I press Fleshcraft, it goes up to 55-54. So that got 200 extra damage just from me getting the mastery. Everything gets more damage if you get more mastery on Marksman Hunter. And once again, The absolute biggest part of this build that I want to talk about is that TrueShot was up 24 times. We cast it and it was up for 40% of the dungeon. I love this build. I love having TrueShot up all the time. I just love that it makes these things cast so quickly. And it also means that I need to start trying to get rid of as much haste as I can. Haste isn't a super good stat for Marksman Hunter anyway, but I can index more heavily into crit and then have all those aim shots bouncing around critting. I get massive amounts of damage. So I'm excited to try and mix up my stats a little bit and see where that kind of takes me. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. What do you think about Necrolord for Hunter? What do you think about Marksman Hunter with this legendary getting 35% reduction on TrueShot? What do you think about calling the shots in combination with this? Do you think this build is good at all? I think it's actually a lot of fun. I think it can work really well, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you think in the comments down below? Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like down below if you liked it, and of course subscribe if you haven't hit that red button yet. Check out the Patreon, down below if you want to support the future of what I'm doing on this channel. And until the next one, guys, we'll see you later.